Welcome to the Wonderbox channel. Today, we embark on an exhilarating journey back to July 4th, 1776, a day that echoes through time, marking the birth of a new nation. Imagine the tension in the air as representatives from the 13 colonies gathered in Philadelphia. The walls of the Pennsylvania State House, now known as Independence Hall, were thick with the weight of decisions that would change the course of history. They were fueled by a relentless desire for liberty and autonomy from British rule. This was not just a simple declaration. It was a cry for a new beginning, a chance to create a government that valued individual liberties and democratic governance. As our story unfolds, let's meet the key players behind this monumental document. First up, the iconic Thomas Jefferson. At just 33 years old, Jefferson was tasked with the daunting responsibility of drafting the Declaration. His words would serve as a rallying cry for revolutionaries. He was infused with the Enlightenment ideals that emphasized reason, individual rights, and the social contract. Jefferson believed that government should derive its power from the consent of the governed, a radical idea at the time. Alongside Jefferson in this endeavor were men like John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert R. Livingston. These individuals debated fiercely, embodying the spirit of democracy long before the formal establishment of the United States. A sense of urgency loomed over the proceedings as the colonies were embroiled in conflict with Britain. The battles of Lexington and Concord had already erupted, signaling the start of the Revolutionary War. It was a war for independence that would test the resolve and unity of the colonies. These men grappled with what it meant to be free. What does freedom truly entail? The Founding Fathers poured their hearts and souls into the Declaration, revealing not just their aspirations, but also the grievances against King George III. It was a bold move. They knew that declaring independence meant risking everything. Facing the powerful British Empire, they knew defeat could lead to dire consequences. Nevertheless, they persevered, determined to give voice to the aspirations of their fellow colonists. One phrase stood out among the rest. "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." This revolutionary principle became a cornerstone of American identity. Jefferson eloquently articulated the idea that people are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These words ignited hope in colonists across the 13 colonies, providing a foundation for future generations to build upon. With these ideals, the document reflected the universal quest for freedom, resonating far beyond the borders of America in the centuries that followed. Yet, the struggle for independence was far from over. The Continental Congress adopted the Declaration on July 4th, 1776. However, it wasn't until years later that the fight would truly transform the landscape of America. The ensuing war was filled with trials and tribulations. Colonial militias and Continental troops faced not just the might of the British Army, but also severe shortages, harsh winters, and internal divisions. Despite these challenges, the belief in independence fueled the soldiers' resolve. Every battle fought was a step closer to realizing the dream encapsulated within the Declaration. An interesting aspect to ponder is the role of foreign influence during this time. The colonies were not standing alone. International alliances were pivotal in securing support against Britain. The arrival of a skilled French army and navy in the later years of the war proved crucial. The French admired the Declaration's ideals. They saw it as an embodiment of their own revolutionary spirit. As the war raged on, British General Cornwallis would come to realize that the unity of the American forces was a formidable challenge. It all culminated in 1781, when Cornwallis surrendered to the Americans at Yorktown, signaling a decisive turning point in the war. Following the success in battle, the Treaty of Paris was signed in 1783, formally recognizing the United States as an independent nation. But with independence came a significant challenge, crafting a government that reflected the values expressed in the Declaration. The necessity for a framework to unite the former colonies and provide order was evident. The Articles of Confederation came first, but soon revealed themselves to be inadequate. As a result, a constitutional convention was convened in 1787. This gathering sought to address the weaknesses of the Articles and lay the groundwork for a new constitution. It was here that the spirit of compromise flourished among the delegates. What emerged was a bold new blueprint for governance. The Constitution balanced power between federal and state governments, while ensuring the protection of individual liberties through the Bill of Rights. Despite these advancements, it's important to acknowledge that the lofty ideals of the Declaration did not extend to everyone. Slavery persisted in the newly emerging nation, raising critical questions about equality. The phrase, "all men are created equal," was remarkably inconsistent with the existence of slavery. This contradiction would echo throughout American history, sparking debates and conflicts that would only intensify in the years to come. As we celebrate the Declaration and its groundbreaking principles, we must be mindful of the complexities woven within the fabric of American history. The Declaration of Independence laid the groundwork for a society that continues its pursuit of liberty and justice. The ideals expressed have inspired movements around the globe, becoming a beacon of hope for those seeking autonomy and rights. Fast forward through the centuries, and we see how the Declaration served as a rallying point for transformative movements. From the abolitionist struggles in the 19th century to the civil rights movement, its legacy has marked pivotal moments in American history. The Declaration's assertion that governance requires the consent of the governed set the stage for a nation built on democratic principles. It has been a source of pride and contention alike, unifying some while alienating others. As we reflect on the journey from 1776 to today, it's worth questioning how far the original vision has truly come. Are we living up to the ideals articulated in this profound document? The principles of equality, liberty, and justice remain as relevant today as they were over 2 centuries ago. In moments of divisiveness that challenge our democratic values, we can look back to the Declaration to remind us of our shared vision. The work of the Founding Fathers was not an end in itself, but a beginning, an ongoing endeavor that each generation must continue. As we gather on July 4th to celebrate Independence Day each year, let us remember not only the triumphs, but also the challenges that lie ahead. We honor those who fought for freedom and those who continue to uphold the ideals of democracy in a world that is often fraught with adversity. So, what can we learn from the past? How can we ensure that the spirit of the Declaration persists in the lives of every American? Finding inspiration in history is vital, paving the path toward a more equitable future. By embracing the lessons of the Declaration, we can strive for a nation that truly embodies its foundational principles. As we conclude today's exploration into the American Declaration of Independence, we invite you to ponder these thoughts. The journey is not just about celebrating our history, but actively participating in the ongoing narrative of democracy. Let us all be inspired by the courage and determination of those who came before us. Every action taken towards justice and equality honors the legacy of the Declaration. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through time. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Wonderbox for more captivating histories. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember the power of your voice in shaping the future.